Hello, good evening. We've got a beautiful woman with us. Of course, she's in the field of education for the past so many years. So let's share something that's important for the child at the foundation stage. Every child comes into a school with lots of growth aspects. The child, the parents, everybody has got lots of expectations. So, what is the actual methodology that a child would feel child friendly? So, I welcome you to the live show. Miss Preetha, she's
Hi.
from Chennai and a lively, wonderful woman with children and with the staff. So, how do you feel working in this field of education, ma'am?
Yes. Hi, this is Preeta here, and thank you, Shirley, for that wonderful introduction. Yes, I would really vouch for being with children for the last 2 decades, or probably 3 decades. So it's been really a wonderful time with children, and in being in the children's world was just amazing because they are just innocent human beings and the most adorable uh, part of life that we all can enjoy. So, being the head of an institution or being the head of a kindergarten department, I would like to really talk about how the Montessori approach is helping the child explore the environment and find things for himself.
Yes, Preeta, I always feel, that it's better that the person who is heading the organization, whether it be a primary, pre-primary, or the secondary level, we find that if you start from the very foundation itself,
Yes.
and if the Montessori method is understood by the teachers as well as the head of the department, I find that it brings volumes, and also you can adopt new methodology for teaching. So, what do you
Yes.
think Montessori should include, and what are the points you would keep in mind as pillars, to grow the institution as well as the child? Yes.
Yes. See, Montessori approach is it's not a rocket science. It's just an extension of a home environment, and you have a prepared environment in school itself where the children can go access every material by himself or herself and just settle down by taking the material and working with it. So it is
What does
basically
it emphasize on? What is it?
emphasizing basically the key focus of Montessori education is to develop independence in children right from this age. See,
Good.
usually as parents, we try and pamper children to the most,
Hmm.
which is actually harming the child. We are
Hmm.
not allowing the child to grow
How do
mentally.
we ensure it
Yes,
as
because
parents and
when you
teachers?
give the space to the child would explore, and there is no limit to it. You cannot force a child in doing something, and you will not get the best results. So when you allow the child to find for himself, or by doing and learning and having a trial and error method, the child will understand, and the basics get set
Hmm.
by itself.
Yeah, like
So that
suppose you
is.
want to introduce some alphabets. What is the points that a teacher should keep in mind? I want to introduce
See,
sounds.
see,
I
that is
want to
where I would,
introduce, yeah,
yeah, that's where I
alphabets.
would like to emphasize on the training that the teacher should have.
Good.
So the
Uh,
teacher, a Montessori teacher has to get a real thorough training before she actually approaches or
starts.
starts this,
Teaching
introducing this
methods.
methodology,
Hmm.
because the training is very intense. Actually, our teachers are all trained from the Association of Montessori International,
Good.
Netherlands, and it's an intense training where they really get to understand what are the materials that can be used in
Teaching.
sensorial area, in exercises of practical life, in language, and to develop math. so math skills in them. So this is really important, because the teacher has to practice first.
Mhm.
They need to understand the objective of each material, why we present it to the child, and that knowledge is transferred to the child, and the child is practicing and progressing with the learning. So this is how it usually uh, it's ensured the teacher is transferring this kind of knowledge to the children.
Okay. So we have various methodology that we are using for Montessori. What's the difference between Montessori method and the normal teaching? How do you find that? How can you tell about that?
Yeah. See, there is a basic difference between the Montessori approach and the kindergarten way of learning.
Mm-hmm.
The first and foremost difference is, in a Montessori uh, environment, we have children of three different age groups. So it's a mixed age group culture.
Mm-hmm.
So the children from age 2.5 years to 6 years are together in the same environment, where there is a lot of collaborative learning, a lot of peer learning that happens, and they also learn to care and share
Mm-hmm.
for each other. And
Mm-hmm.
also they the older ones get to care for the younger ones, and the younger ones look up at the older ones, and
So
there's a
is
lot
it
of
a group learning or individualistic method?
both.
Okay.
Both happens in a Montessori environment. So that's something which is really unique, and so the children is in a Montessori environment. The classroom is not like a typical classrooms
Actually, that's
situation.
what we all as management should understand. It's not the chalk and talk method which was there earlier.
Yes,
It's
yes,
not the forcing a child to take a pencil and write, or
exactly.
take crayon and write, or draw with a normally they have big circular objects kept there, and the child learns that this is a circle, this is a triangle, okay, and this is a square. But what does that matter to the child, whether it's a triangle, square, or circle? I
Yes.
think it's much about that. And when do you consider a child to have learned a concept?
The child will learn to apply whatever he has learned in various situations.
Yeah.
So that is when you really
So how do you
understand.
assess the child then?
Assessing is not a pen and paper test. It is just
Good.
basically the teacher is
Observation.
continuously observing the child whenever the child is working with the material. So the way the child masters those skills. So it's basically initially it is all skill development before they start their formal learning. So once the child is ready for the next level of learning, then the teacher presents these different Montessori materials, which supports language learning as well as arithmetic learning, as well as the different concepts. So there are a lot of resources which are prepared by the teachers, which is kept in the classroom so that the children can access them and work and learn.
How do you cater to the multiple intelligence theory, in which you say that children all do not have the same caliber? Some may be linguistic,
So
some
that
may
is
be interpersonal, some may be musical, some may be logistic. So how do you cater to such changes? Is Montessori helpful for that?
Yes, very much, because we have a variety of activities that are laid out in the classroom in various to cater to the different talents of children. So as the children explore, so we are not telling the child to go and take a specific material, but rather the child is given the freedom of choice within limits.
Okay.
So that is where the child goes, and he has the freedom to go and choose whatever he likes, and whatever he chooses he will work with, and that is where we understand whether the child is able to focus into that.
Suppose the child is very quiet. How do you get a child out of it? Like some are very, quiet and they sit in a corner, and some are very, outgoing. They may go and just talk to another child. But this child who's very observant, probably he's a single child, or maybe he's not allowed to, meet other children, or a little shy by nature. It's possible. So how do you get the child to interact?
See, there are different kinds of games also the teacher engages with the children. So the child, initially, if the child is not participating, or if he's staying aloof, so the teacher won't force the child. They keep nudging and we'll invite the child for to be a participant in the activity. But that continues till the child is actually coming forward by
Mhm.
himself.
Mhm.
So we give the space to the child, and you see the child emerge. So this is how.
Suppose they have some speak or speech, problems. They're not able to speak
Yes.
a particular alphabet, like you see R.
Yeah.
Okay, they can't say R, or they can't see sir.
Mm.
So these are some, alphabets which I have observed,
Mm.
or probably the child has some deformity. So how does the child be fit into a normal school? Have you come across such
Yes,
children?
yes, we have a lot of children, and we do have a special education department where we can
Cater to
ask
them?
the teacher to come and observe the child and see
Mm-hmm.
where what the child is
Mm-hmm.
lacking. So we refer the child. The teachers usually, when they identify such children, they usually take the help of the
But
special
do you put them
educator.
in the normal school?
Yes, yes, they do. They try, but they might be given an extra coaching where in the area
Mm-hmm.
where the child needs that.
Okay, okay.
So that helps the child a lot. Sometimes certain exercises or certain skill development activities uh, enhances the child's.
Okay, thank you very much, Preeta.
Yeah,
And I
that
hope
was.
it has been very informational, and it has been very motivating to all the young teachers who are coming into this field of education. Thank you, one and all, for listening. Thank you, and have a great evening. Thank you, young ladies.
Thank you. Bye bye.